Hello, welcome back. Today I'd like to have a chat about a video on Dr. Winter's YouTube channel. The video is titled Micro and Macro Evolution, Sexism and Systemic Sexism. Now, it's one of these online group get-togethers, and there's about four or five individuals discussing macro and micro evolution and sexism and obviously what they regard as systemic sexism. It's only a short video, it's about 3 minutes long, but it's surprising how much nonsense you can fit into 3 minutes. So let's have a close look and listen and see if we can detect any potential problems.
I was just going to say it seems very much like the thing I found a lot with creationists is how black and white their thinking is. That it's either this way or it's this way, and it just seems like the same fucking thing. There's no nuance. There's no you know.
Can I build on that parallel? Because it's something that I've mentioned to my friends on Facebook, but I've not said on YouTube yet, and it's a good time as any. But it seems to me, again, making a parallel to creationists will accept microevolution, but they deny macroevolution, even though all macroevolution is microevolution aggregated up on a system scale. And in Garrett's video's response to Armored Skeptic, he said, it's not that we're denying rape, we deny that a rape culture exists. It's not that we deny people aren't sexist, we just deny that there's systematic sexism. That to me is the exact same false dichotomy that creationists make, because what you're talking about is the difference between the individual and the aggregate. And individuals operate within systems. So how can you, I don't know, Garrett, if you want to jump in on that at all in terms of the analysis.
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea that none of the people who happen to be sexist also hold positions of authority and that can therefore create systemic sexism is equally absurd as anything else he's ever said. I mean, all you need for systemic sexism to exist is for some of those people in society who are sexist to hold positions of influence over other people. That's all it takes.
Right, let's stop the video there for a minute, because the conversation thus far has descended into nonsense, hasn't it? Because they can't even get their basic terminology correct. They're referring to systemic sexism. Well, that's an incorrect application of the term. And not one of them's picked it up, and one of them is supposed to be a PhD. Let's think about what a system is first. A system is a set of methods, procedures, and routines. It can include rules and regulations, but it's designed to carry out a specific function or have an outcome. It will have a defined purpose. For instance, the justice system is there to dispense justice. The education system is there to educate people. Systemic is a term that refers to the entire system as a whole. It doesn't refer to individual components of that system. So when you say something has a systemic failure, you're saying the entire system has failed, not individual components within that system. Systematic, on the other hand, is a term that implies a methodology or plan or procedure. It's confirmed by repeatability. It's designed into the system. It's part of the system. You shouldn't confuse systemic and systematic. They're two different terms and they apply in two different sets of circumstances. What they're describing or attempting to describe is systematic sexism, not systemic sexism, which would be a nonsense.
Exactly, the ultimate example of that is one of the things they'll say is, well, rape is illegal, therefore we don't live in a rape culture. Forgetting, of course, that if you have incredibly sexist police and judges who don't enforce that law, it isn't really, in many cases, actually illegal, in essence, in practice, because those sexists are having the power to not enforce the law.
Let me give you an example, a hypothetical example. We have a school, and within that school we find that one of the teachers is a member of the British National Party, which is an extreme right-wing party in the United Kingdom. That membership itself doesn't imply that the teacher is racist. Membership of a political party doesn't mean that you're a racist. But on investigation it's discovered that in fact this individual is a racist. Does that make the school system racist? Well, no, it doesn't, because in order to be racist, the racism would have to be systematic. It would have to be built into it would have to be part of the system. There must be some part of that system that is discriminating on the basis of race, and that would mean that the school system is systematically racist. Not systemically racist, systematically racist.
And
Well, they would
Also,
also
those same
Okay.
people will go on about black on black crime. So, you know.
Well, I would also add that in Islamic countries, reported rapes are much lower. Does that mean that they have a better rape culture? They don't have rape culture in Islamic countries because they have a lower incidence of rapes being reported and convictions even than the West?
exactly. In Saudi Arabia, I don't think there's been a rape for years, apparently. So that's fine there. The fact that
Right,
the
we
fact
saw
that it takes is it three female eyewitnesses to count as one person in a rape trial?
In
basically
Iran, I could find the exact number in a book I've got, but yeah, in Iran, I think it's either 3 or 4, or possibly could be even 5. It takes 5 women to equal the testimony of 1 man, or it could be as low as 3. It's between 3 and 5.
Well,
His brain is gone.
Whoa, let's have a pause there, please. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? It might be 5 even. 6, anyone? They don't know, do they? But this lack of basic information is not going to stop them from discussing the complex issue of the Sharia legal system in Iran, is it? It's not going to slow them down any. Then it's the fact that they don't actually know what they're talking about. They'll still bulldoze away. Anyway, carry on.
which
Yeah.
makes me think either they're setting up an impossible standard of evidence, which is true, or do they have rapes with fucking viewing galleries or something? I mean, what the fuck is going on in those places? It's ridiculous.
It's a way
and
to
yeah,
define out lots and lots of sexual assaults and rapes because they don't meet the criteria of what you.
Well, we'll end our adventure at this point. I'd just like to say, though, that when we look back to the description of this video, Dr. Winters had a go at Sargon of Akkad, his unwillingness to do basic research or to understand evidence when presented. Yet, in this video, it seems to me that not one of them had a basic grasp of the terminology that they were bandying around. It was quite notable that they didn't understand the basic terms that they were using. So when they point to somebody and say, well, you should do more research, I think, well, actually, you should get back to the basics and learn the fundamentals of the terms that you're actually using yourselves. Well, thanks for watching and see you next time.
How you can have it count as rape.